So I've just watched Mistress Ray's video organising her tarot space or reorganising it, and it made me look at my altar in my bedroom, look at the state of it. A picture fell off the wall and crushed all the top of it, and everything fell around. You can see where it fell off the nail up there. It looks a complete mess. I've completely rethought what I want to do here. I just haven't had a spare second to do it. So I've been living with this unused mess. And at the end of the day, when it looks like this and you're not using it, you have to stop and think, what's the point? So I'm going to reorganise everything and I want to share it with you. So it's been a few days now since I started tidying up my sacred space behind me, which is in my bedroom. It looks a lot different, and I think that this time last year as well, I felt this need to simplify and to cut back and to declutter. So I've had a bit of a week where I've been throwing things out, taking things bagging things up ready to take to the charity shop, and the altar behind me looks radically different. So you can see I've really pared it back. It's a lot more subtle. All the silk flowers have gone. It's much barer and I am loving it. I think at this time last year I had the same feeling, that same need to declutter, to reevaluate my space, to pare things back, to get it more minimalistic, and it's just what I needed, and I am really loving it. Now I decided to take the Wheel of the Year things off the altar for now anyway, because I'm not Wiccan, but I do follow the Wheel of the Year because of course I garden and I use the garden as part of my magic practice. I'm always out walking the dogs and I love feeling connected to that idea of a turning wheel. But also the garden, I've got the garden for that. I don't really need to bring it in onto my altar. The woods and my garden are my altar for following the changing season. So you can see instead I've got some of my own artwork. I've got candles, which are my goddess candle and my god candle for energies, and I have different artworks on here and swans to do with the deities that I follow. Now this piece here was done walking in the woods, like I just said, the woods and my altar. This was following a really amazing experience I had late at night where crows started flying out of trees around me, and a white mist like milk started wrapping around the trees. And it was in that experience that I realised not only was the Morrigan still with me, but she wanted to work with Bridget, and also that's when I realised that the Dagda had come into my practice as well. And this piece here is for the Morrigan as well. This is about motherhood, but it's inspired by the protection the Morrigan gave me, and for me the Morrigan is a really protective energy, hence that protective eye in the centre of that larger artwork. This at the front is representative of the Dagda's cauldron. I've got a cleansing bell on there, yeah, and it just feels like it's what my practice requires now, rather than keep changing the altar up for different sabbats. I've got tarot decks on here that are being used for different things as well. So it just really feels like the change that I need. It's a lot more subtle, it's a lot calmer, it will help me meditate more, I think, and I love it. So let me show you what I've got in some of these storage shelves. In this one I've got some books, That is the Mysteries of the Black Madonna guidebook, which goes with the deck, which is in here, which is new to me. I'm yet really to work with it. I've got one of my all-time favourite oracles, the Weaver's Oracle at the back, which I use for meditation. I have 2 sacred geometry decks here, which I sometimes use either for scrying or for talking to deity. As does the Crow Tarot, that comes into play for that as well, particularly for Morrigan readings. In this bag, I have a Celtic tarot deck, which again I'm yet to work with. That was brought specifically because the deities I work with are Celtic deities, and there's a Celtic oracle there. These books are for bibliomancy. You've got the Goddess book and Women Who Run with the Wolves, which is probably my all-time favourite book. Other books up here, I've got the Queraya, which is the first of the apprentice course. It's the first book in that course, and I've got Tarot of the Sweet Twilight, which is the deck that I'm using as part of that course work. This little tin in here, I've got some jewellery that I keep on the altar to charge. I swap that over, and let's put that little candle on. I put that in front to kind of activate the charge. And then there's spare candles and spare bits and bobs which I've taken out, and it just is a really lovely space to have. This shelf at the front, it gives me space for spell workings or to put tarot cards to look at when I'm sitting on the floor meditating. And these 3 stones are really personal to me. They're found stones and I love them. So I just think it's a really practical, useful space, and I'm really pleased with it. I think with my bedside cabinet set up as well, the whole room is looking kind of great with my rescued toys, and I'm loving it. So all of the bright stuff and the flowers and all of the slightly more flamboyant things, I haven't wasted them. I was just going to put them in storage, but then I decided to carry on with the sacred space makeover and to work downstairs at rejigging things in my tarot room. So I'm going to take you downstairs and show you that now. So here we are. This is my tarot room, which is my spare room downstairs, and you can see that the flamboyance got brought down here, and oh boy, does this space make me smile. Now you can see the dog crates are here for my 2 dogs, who absolutely adore their crates. The doors are open, and yet look, they put themselves in. They are both rescue lurchers, and they both have separation anxiety. And what that means is if I'm out of the house for 20 minutes doing the school run, they tear the place apart. Or if at night time they're not upstairs with me, if they're just left loose downstairs, they eat the sofa, which yes, they did that. I woke up to just a wooden frame. So that's why the crates there, and you can see they're massive crates. So what I've done, rather than have all that space wasted, I've put some old pieces of wood on the top as a temporary measure. I'd like to build some sort of table to go completely over it eventually, but for now we've got a temporary measure, but it gives me that lovely flat surface, which I thought could be another sacred space downstairs in here, and I just love it. You can see I have some tarot decks out here. These are some self-care tarot decks, and there's a chakra deck there, little mini one. There's my grimoire out, and in the centre you can see my Lego altar, which I made, which I really love, and it turns and twists. You've got elements represented on there, so there's earth and that side's air, and with the dolphin that's for water, and then you've got the orange fire side, and in the centre that's where I sometimes put my tarot cards of the month. Now look at these lovely shells. The gloriously kind Sandra at the Whispering Well sent me these shells and some little ornaments this week as a real surprise, and I just love it. Look, you can see the blue shells hidden away at the back there, and I'm so thankful. Thank you, Sandra, I love them. And then there's a quote that another friend sent me, which I love, and you can see that unit going up the wall. It used to be the kids' toy pretend shop that they had when they were babies, and I just loved it so much. I split it up into different units and attached it to the wall, but it just makes a really nice display for some of my doll collections and some troll collections. There are some witchy things in the little drawers as well. But you can see my little witchy doll down there that the lovely Saturnarium sent me from the giveaway that I won. And it just makes my soul really happy. There's another Star Wars and Princess Leia inspired Lego tarot display thing that I built, and these dolls are vintage dolls that I picked up really cheap because they've got broken arms. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to fix them and sew them together with some similar dolls I've got and make a new lamp base. So that's it. It's been a change. That there's new furniture in there. Over this side I made a self-care altar. You can see with the photograph, the tapestry rather, that I found in the charity shop. I haven't really used it that much yet, I've got to be honest. And then next to it there's my Kanban board, which again has kind of been forgotten for the second half of the year. These two shelves are my ancestral altar with pictures of my dad and my dad's mom and my dogs that have passed. So it's just a really nice space to have loads of storage. You can see I've got decks and more decks, and then there are spaces for books. It's just nice to keep everything a bit more organised, so I had a little clear out and just had a dust down. So I've got tarot guidebooks are there, I've got sort of healing books there, I've got kind of UK witchcraft and folklore books there, and witchcraft books there. These are kind of tarot source books along this shelf here, just all books to do with my spiritual life and my spiritual practice, learning the tarot, and just juicy lovely books. Over here on the piano stool you can see I've got some decks out ready to do my next Tag Your It video. And I've got, oh, let me show you this. Look at this beautiful Mother Mary statue that a really kind subscriber sent in a box of goodies. Isn't she just so lovely? So she's up here on top of the piano next to the decks I use for that sort of nurturing Mother Mary energy and for recovering from abusive, toxic family systems. And I love her. I think she's wonderful. She's next to some water from Glastonbury from the Chalice Well, and another little witchy ornament with a shell from Sandra. Oh, just lovely. And a pot of incense there. I'm just really lucky to have such a lovely space. Above my piano is some artwork. The bluish ones are mine. The one in the middle is by an artist called Rachel Grant, who is a friend of mine up in Stoke. Here's my tarot desk, slightly messy, but only messy through lots of things going on. So there's decks, there's a picture of my dad there. He's the little boy in the corner. Here's my fairy cupboard, again full of decks. And then there is another piece of artwork from an artist in Borth, which is just down the road from my caravan in Wales, with a little Welsh doll, just to bring a bit of my home by the sea back here with me. This is a really old-fashioned bureau that I got that's full of sort of apothecary type things. And then there's more artwork. These are both mine. The black and white one is a embroidered drawing with mixed media, and this is just all an embroidery straight onto canvas. So a couple of my artworks there. So you can see all the flamboyant things from upstairs that have been pared out of upstairs, have been brought down here to revamp my tarot room, or the dog's bedroom you could call it. And I just love it. I just thought I'd share because it's just looking so sparkly and new and refreshed. So I really hope you enjoyed that little tour of my revamped sacred spaces, my altar upstairs for meditation and deity work, and then also my tarot room. So thanks so much guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.